What's up guys, Josh aka Savage Hydra here, and welcome to our third episode of the Top N series. Today's episode is going to be looking at the champions of the Pokemon leagues throughout the games. And it's going to be a top 5 because obviously I don't even think there's been 10 different champions. So we shall start with number 5. Now, number 5 is going to be going to Blue from Generation 1/3 if you count Fire, Green, Fire Red and Leaf Green. And my reasons for doing so are because he's the only rival in the games to ever become the champion, unless you count N, but I don't really count N as a rival. I count him as like a pseudo antagonist because he's like an anti-hero in a way, whereas Blue is straight up your rival. Like, he's always there in your way, being annoying. He is very good at playing the role of a hurdle in your journey through the games, and of course he has to show up one last time to be your final hurdle again. So it's just one of those things that he's been through with you with your entire journey, and you get to the end just to be told by Lance that someone got there first. And of course, it's going to be Blue. The other reason is because obviously he has a flexible starter, depending on which one you chose in the games. But other than that, he has an incredibly balanced team in both the original Blue, Red and Yellow, and Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's a very balanced team of spread typings. It just means that he is very, very threatening, and especially in Generation 1 with all the broken mechanics and having an Alakazam and stuff, he is a very, very, very formidable opponent. So he, I think, really had to go on this list, despite how much I kind of actually dislike him being the champion for Generation 1. So onwards to number 4, and that is going to be going to Diantha. Now, people are probably like, what? Diantha? Why? I think that as a champion, she does very well to showcase some of Kalos' best Pokemon. I mean, Hawlucha, Aurorus, and Tyrantrum. What else did she have? Just something else, I can't remember. But she has some a quite threatening team, to be honest. Oh, she got a Goodra as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but really, she also has that thing of showing off one of the strongest fairy types in Mega Gardevoir, and it just means that she is a really good champion for showing up what Gen 6 has brought to the table, and I really think that's a nice thing to see in the champion of a new generation. The other thing is that she also is a champion that has a close relationship with the professor of the region, and it means that she has her eyes out for you. She's watching you through that journey. You meet her when you first arrive in Lumio City. Lumio City, is it Lumio? Yes, Lumio's. I haven't played X and Y in a very long time. But Lumio City, where you meet her in the cafe after meeting Lysandre and all that sort of thing. You then see her shortly after you gain the ability to use Mega Evolution, and she's watching you. And when she turns up the champion, it's not that surprising, but it definitely wasn't really clued in. It wasn't like, I'm the champion, ha ha ha, you can come fight me. It was just, oh, she's the champion, oh. And then she throws down this Mega Gardevoir and is a massive threat. So I really liked Diantha as a champion. Maybe not the strongest of champions by any means, but the things that she represents as champion I really, really like. So moving on to number 3, and for me that is going to be Iris. Iris is one of the champions that really gave me a run for my money. her Haxorus especially, with the set of sword stance, and almost swept my team in Black 2. So I can't really deny her a place in this list. She's probably shown the most drive and progression at an incredibly young age. Yes, Blue, maybe he's only 10 or whatever. But from being a gym leader at such a young age and then going on to be champion and overtaking Alder. Not that Alder's pretty terrible, I don't like Alder, and the fact that you never fight him either until post-game is really annoying. But in comparison to other champions, she is very, very young and has a complete, pretty much mastery of the dragon type. Having such a team of high-level dragons, from Haxorus, Hydreigon, all those sort of things, she really, really gave me a run for my money. And probably really showed the need for the fairy type, if I'm honest. Also, the idea of Iris kind of... I didn't know Iris was going to be the champion when I played Black 2. And then when I got to the final fight and saw her, I was like, oh. Well, this is a surprise. It was a pleasant surprise. Unlike Blue... I mean, Wallace is spoiled for you in Emerald. You're literally told that he's become champion and gone back to being champion after... I kind of remember it's like Eugene, or I don't even know who the 8th gym leader is in Emerald. He's that irrelevant to me. And Blue never ever fails to get that "ugh, you again" reaction from me, because he's been ahead of you. Somehow he's been ahead of you the entire time. Yet every time you come up to him, you beat him. And then he's champion, and then you beat him. And someone that they become champion, and then like 5 minutes later, you beat them. It seems ludicrous to me. But Iris was a really nice surprise to see as a champion, as a former character. The other thing is, in terms of progression, Lance, as another dragon user, I only ever really saw Lance in Generation 2 as a placeholder, because Red went AWOL, Blue stood down and became gym leader, Koga came in to fill an Elite Four spot, and then Lance was just a placeholder. I never really liked him as a champion. I never really liked the fact that he had incredibly under-leveled Dragon Knights, which are technically illegal, but you know what you're gonna do. Iris is the opposite. She has appropriate levels for her dragons. She has a very, very strong team. It's very nicely balanced, no its offenses. And it's not just 3 Dragon Knights over and over again. I really like Iris as a champion. She also has a very, very, very good champion theme as well. I very much like her theme. So number 2, I've actually, to be honest, now that I've talked about them, I've addressed all of the others. So number 2 is going to go to Steven. Now, Steven is probably the most active champion in terms of the storyline, especially with the addition, the changes in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. He's there constantly. You can actively seek him out in the cave on Dewford Town, Dewford Cave. He follows you. He's active in the storyline. He also is unique in the fact that for a champion, he has a very defensive team, full of steel types like Skarmory, Armaldo, Credilli, Aggron, Claydol, and then just throws down Omega Metagross and starts Giga impacting everything. So it's one of those things that, wow, to see such a defensive team from a champion is very unusual, and I really like that. The changes in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire really gave him some personality as well. Before, in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I found him to be very bland, but Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire really changed that up, and it's really made me come to like Steven as well. So, leaving the best to last, as is natural with a series like this, our number 1 pick is no doubt going to be Cynthia. Cynthia is very active in story of the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum games, as well as appearing in Unova in part of the post-game. In my opinion, she has probably the most threatening team of all the champions, opening up with the Spiritomb, a Lucario, a Garchomp as a signature Pokemon, Roserade, Gastrodon, and Milotic, or Gastrodon I believe is exchanged for a Togekiss in Platinum. But her team is very, very bulky. It's got a spread of bulk, a spread of offense, some fast, some slow, some utility. It's very, very threatening and probably one of the most balanced teams I've seen of any champion. And in addition to that, her themes and the personality that she carries in the games create the highly threatening atmosphere that a champion should create. She just, that when you finally meet her in the champion chamber, when the piano is going, it's like just building that tension, and then her theme, it suddenly switches and it's just like, and it's fast paced, it's tense, it really, everything about her creates this really intimidating atmosphere. And I fought her in Generation 4, and she has never been overtaken as my favourite champion, and I would say that she is probably, out of all of them, the strongest. I don't really, obviously that's opinion, and there's like no real way to back that up truly, but regarding her team and how balanced it is compared to others, I really, and as well her experience. I mean, sure, Blue has a balanced team as well, but he's still a kid. Cynthia's often doing it. She knows what she's doing, and she's not just taken the spot of champion either. She's experienced in the role as champion as well. But I can't deny Cynthia this top spot in terms of champions. So to recap, we have in our number 5 spot Blue from Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, and Leaf Green. For number 4, we have Diantha from X and Y. For number 3, we have Iris from Black and White 2. For number 2, we have Steven from Ruby and Sapphire and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Obviously, he's not the champion in Emerald because Wallace overtakes him. And for number 1, we finally have Cynthia from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum as our top spot as best champion. Otherwise, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then do leave a like and obviously subscribe to see more of this coming. And do let me know what you think about the different champions in the comments below and who you think should be taking your top spot. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.